Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leanna. Today I'm going to be addressing a more serious topic, as I do quite frequently on this channel. As you probably know, there's been a huge rise in anti-Asian violence and racism. None of this is okay. The reality is that anti-Asian racism has been around in both Canada and America for a very long time. From exclusion laws, immigration taxes, forced labor, internment camps, and more. It is literally woven into the fabric of our countries. So when people say, oh, well, this has only been happening since the start of COVID, that's really not the case. This is not true, and this is an attempt to minimize the damaging and lasting effects of yet another facet of white supremacy. It is, however, true that anti-Asian racism is rising. It has been getting worse since the start of COVID-19. People have been coming up with an excuse to blame Chinese people and people who look Chinese for this virus. We do not even know for sure if this virus originated in China. There were cases in Europe prior to their being discovered in Wuhan. It is not the China virus, and Chinese people are not a virus. This is COVID-19. It has a name. Please use it. No country or its government or its people are responsible for this virus. This virus happened as a result of our very fragile ecosystem, and we will go through other viruses in the future. The reality is that people using COVID-19 as an excuse to be violent and racist towards East Asians or Southeast Asians were already anti-Asian, anti-Chinese, xenophobic, and xenophobic. Racist people will find excuses to do racist things, which is why we cannot take this opportunity to fight racism with yet more racism. Some, not all, and not nearly the amount that the media and certain people would have you believe, some of the perpetrators of anti-Asian violence have belonged to other communities of color. Being racist towards these communities is not a way to fight anti-Asian racism. As I said, racist people will find a way to do racist things. I find it a bit ironic that as white people, we have no problem generalizing entire other groups of people based on the actions of a few. But if anyone dares do the same to us, we say not all white people. Pick one. It can't be both. White supremacy wants all of us to fight each other, rather than to fight our common enemies. White supremacy, cis-heteropatriarchy, and capitalism. These harmful systems and institutions require marginalized and minoritized groups to fight. So even when you think the culprit isn't white supremacy, have another look. It probably is. White supremacy needs support from the very people it oppresses. With true solidarity, the threat to power would be too great, and it would cease to function as we see it currently. That's why it's so important to recognize the narratives being spun by the media when we see these attacks happen. These are very specifically not being called racist hate crimes, because that would require naming white supremacy. White supremacy doesn't like to be named. It likes to be called a bad day, or a mental illness, or a sex addiction, because then it is easier for others who commit both covert and overt acts of violence to say, no, I'm not a racist, because that wasn't labeled a racist act. And now I can continue to do what I am doing without consequence. That is not okay. None of this is okay. We need to step up for our Asian family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, even those we don't know, who don't feel safe going out alone anymore, who are being told that they don't belong here. You belong here. You deserve respect and dignity and to feel safe. I will be personally taking a bystander intervention program from Hollaback, which is free. I will leave that and others down below. Stop Asian hate and end white supremacy.